hardly anybody about. We are live. We are live. What was that all about? We're live. Yes, we are. We are live. Where where did where did that come from? Where did that come from? That was just unbelievable. What do we need to do to win in Europe? Rio Hatate needs to be dropped. Rio Hatate for me needs to be dropped. I think Brendan Rodgers got two things wrong tonight. I think he got two things wrong. I think he played he played the wrong person on the wing to start with in Yang, and I think Rio Hatate in his drop. I got absolute stick a couple of games into the season when I called a shout that Turnbull should start a game because Rio Hatate's form has been terrible. His passing terrible. His passing's been terrible. Everything's been terrible. And I think he needs dropped. Oh, it's a waste of a jersey. Says, yep, Tarmac, raging, Helen, sickening. Where was the ref? Where was VAR? I told you a couple of nights ago when we were doing the live, and I knew it was a Lithuanian referee. I said, I fear the worst. I fear the worst. I didn't think it was a strong referee. We never get strong referees in Europe. Never get. But where was VAR when Rio Hatate gets smashed in the face? You know, we played fantastically well at times, and to not get a result tonight, and we were unlucky. I mean, did Dyson even get a touch to that ball? He must have got a pinky's worth off his foot. Yes, William, I will agree with you. I said right from the beginning, Scales and Carter Vickers. David Gemmell's going straight in for it. The board is to blame. And Rodgers, come on, you can't blame Rodgers for that tonight. The referee was absolutely decision. There was a VAR that should have. If Rio Hatate gets hits in the face, smacked in the face, that's a red card all day long. At least a booking. VAR didn't even look at it. VAR didn't even look. Their player looked at least his shoulder and his arm was offside for their goal. You know, and where was VAR tonight for their one? Nah, it's all right. It's only Celtic. Eastern Europeans. Anyway, Maida's fault. Palmer played offside. It does. Hewley Gears says, I think Hatate raging about winning Player of the Year last season. We tried to play it from the back. We're not talented. Come on, we are so. Right. I mean, you watched the same game as me because we played a lot of stuff out for the back and we were really good at it. That's confidence. When you play out for the back the way we did, especially in the first half, that's confidence. That's players that are confident in their ability. And to say that no excuses, the whole team were rotten away. 2011 for a few quid. No excuses. The whole team was rotten. No, it wasn't. It was not. Scales was 9 out of 10. Says something today. Maida should have had 2 goals. Maida either is absolutely terrible at shooting, or he should have passed. He should have passed to Kyogo. Anyway, he fluffed it. He did that. We controlled it. We did. When you look, surely used to losing in Europe. No, not really. It's disappointing the way we played, considering I thought that we could have got something from that game. When we seen the result come through for the other game, I thought it was definitely a game that we needed to get something out. To lose that game was hard. Come on. Anybody in Scottish football could say that. I mean, Celtic held their own tonight. David Gamble says, Bono, you relax some quality guys and Yang and Yang's not good enough. Why you went with Yang? I can understand why you went with Yang for maybe getting back and defend, but I thought Yang, he was okay, but Palmer for me is a better player. And Bernardo, I would drop Hatate tomorrow. Hatate needs a kick up the arse and dropped out the team, because Hatate's passing at points tonight again in the first half. His passing was absolutely woeful. Absolutely woeful. Wrong game to bring Carter Vickers back in. Daniel, I don't think so, because I think that Phillips was having his positional play with Phillips and Scales was terrible. And it was Nat Phillips' fault. He lost his man for the first goal. So both our defenders cost us. Both defenders cost us tonight. And you can just say, you could just say that it's rustiness. The last person you would expect to give the ball away where he did was Cameron Carter-Vickers. Kevin says Hatate does not want to play for Celtic, even though he's just signed a new deal. Rogers definitely doesn't know the squad he has. Palmer should have been away on earlier, says Tam Mac. I think he knows the squad. I think it's about how fit the players are in game time. And I think he's managing that. I thought he must have thought to bring Bernardo on and bring Lewis Palmer on late into the second half was always going to be a tactical decision. It was always going to be a tactical decision to try and win the game if it was close. I'd like to see Bernardo getting a run to see what he can do, says Who Really Cares. Yep, me too. Me too, because I'll tell you one thing. Maybe Rogers brought on CCV because Phillips had been carded. There was that as well. He had been carded. And you know what they're like. They're going to go into the last 10, 20 minutes of a game and they're going to just try everything, which they did. Typical Italians. Maida's the headless chicken. Maida's the headless chicken. Hatate all over the place. I wouldn't say Maida's the headless chicken. Oh, geez, one of those nights, and I've only had one drink. We just had our best display this season. We should not be nitpicking. Scales was immense. But at this level, you're wanting your best players to perform. Rio Hatate did not perform to what he can. So he's just got a brand new deal, 5-year deal, a 5-year contract, and he's not performing. His passing's woeful. His passing's been woeful for weeks. Anyway, Palmer will be lucky not to hold on. He's a game changer. Yes, exactly. Palmer is a fantastic player. Scales, absolutely fantastic. Scales is unbelievable. And it's going to be, I'll tell you one thing. Now that Cameron Carter-Vickers is back, him and Scales are going to go on a run to the end of the season. And the other defenders, it's going to be Scottish Cup games for them. It's going to be Scottish Cup games. We're still a laughing stock in England, guys, sadly. In England? We're not in England. Who cares what England says? That's for another channel and another talk. Anyway, plenty of chances, but still not quality in the side. Yep, Maida should have stayed. And you could have got a tap in. Ref and VAR cost us. Yes, definitely. Newcastle won 4-1 against PSG. I know, I've seen that. And it was some result. I feel like someone had cursed Celtic in Europe. I think Hatate could play in the Premier League, but doesn't get his finger out. He'll be on the bench. He needs to be on the bench anyway. Still believe the scumbag Pedro still plays. Yeah, I know. Maida, Hatate. Taylor, woeful tonight. Taylor, are you serious? You're having a laugh. Taylor was actually had a decent game, I thought. I'd bench Rio for McCarthy next week. Something today has had far too much to drink. If he thinks bringing McCarthy's back in for Rio Hatate. Geez. Anyway, let's move on. Why can't you see the league? Where did that go? It's mental block now. Raging result. Never seen him look so unfit. Rio Hatate, yeah. Unbelievable. Phillips was on a yellow card. Yes, he was on a yellow card, and that's probably one of the reasons that we took him off. But he was also at fault for not marking his man for the first goal. He was about 6 yards away from his man, the first goal. So, the two defenders have cost us tonight, which, the board continued to underinvest. Kaiser's in the house, and the score leaving it the team that maintains amounts to climb. Yang's had been a disappointment for weeks. He was good the first half. I'll give him his due, but he's just not. He's not Celtic quality. Taylor was crap the first half. Very unlucky tonight, says Mark. We should have been a straight red. It should have been a straight red for the punch on Rio. Should have. Where was VAR then? VAR didn't even look at it. Palmer's had great 2 finishes and 2 sub appearances. Yes, that's better than Haksabanovic. Is statistically, he's now better than Haksabanovic. Can't catch a break in this competition. Should have had a red card on Hatate first half. Yeah, we should have. Next year, says DJ. Nope. There was an offside goal. Looked like the most SPL VAR decision. It did that. And I think, did it even touch Dyson? It must have skipped past him because on the replay that they showed on the television, do you know, I don't even think it touched him. It might, the slightest of touch. Sack the board. Brendan has been backed. Neither touched the ball, says Mark. Sitting in the pub for people, it's hard to see. And it's really a nightmare, says DJ. Yeah, it is a nightmare. Let me see what Matt O'Reilly's been saying about it, because Matt O'Reilly's obviously been talking after the game and doing his best. Matt O'Reilly was gracious about Celtic's high boot flashpoint. Yeah, there was another one. Matt O'Reilly gets almost a kick in the face and absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know, so let's get some really nightmare. Boy, we were the better team. We lost, but we were robbed. I think that. David Baz knows I'm spot on. John, completely sick. Lazio's second goal was offside. I thought that as well. But out of 2 cups and it's only October, we're not out of the cup. How are we out of the cup? We're not out of the cup. We've still got 4 games to play. So stick that up your arse. Out of 2 cups and it's only... No, we could be Rangers, without a manager. Palmer was unlucky. Here it comes, Blue Baron. There's a Sevconian in the house. How were Celtic robbed? Well, I don't know if you watched the game, but Rio Hatate was was punched in the face. There was no VAR, and there was no VAR for the goal. Anyway, there was no VAR looked at for their goal, and it clearly looked offside. If Celtic's one was offside, that was definitely offside because you could see his whole shoulder. Anyway. Blue Barn, boo. God. At least we didn't boo our own team at the end of the game. At least we didn't boo our own team. So there's always that. There's always an upside. They're coming out for under the rocks, Yeah, they are coming out for the rocks, but it's just leave them. Just leave them to it. I went into the podcast after the Celtic game and 2 blokes with Celtic tops on were laughing. Really? Which one was that? Tom Mack? Jesus. Name them. Name them, Tom Mack. I bet you. Their goal was onside. Blue Baron. No, it wasn't. There was no even VAR looking at it. Anyway. Let me see. Where is he? It's all right. He's now gone. It was nice seeing you, Blue Baron, but it's hasta luego. Anyway, typical boys not getting... The ref is just rotten, if you ask me. The Huns are on, at least their sisters are safe. Of course they're going to come on. Of course they're going to come. They're sitting with, I'm not even going to talk about them. I'm not going to talk about them because they've not got a manager. They've no idea where they're going, and they're 7 points behind in the league. Anyway, and we're playing in the Champions League against top clubs. You know what I mean? So, milk 7-Up and chocolate. Milk 7-Up and chocolate. Looked like the hand of God was offside. Yep. Right, let me get back to Matt O'Reilly and see what Matt O'Reilly was saying. Matt O'Reilly resisted the chance to have a go at officials after tonight's Champions League loss against Lazio. Celtic lost a last-minute goal to the Italians dramatically as they ran out 2-1 winners on match day 2 in Group E of the Champions League. Yes, that's right, the big cup to the Sevconians that's watching. The result leaves Brendan Rodgers' men rooted at the bottom of the section with Kyogo given his all and giving the Celtic the lead. But Lazio pegged it back in the first half. And what can you say? A sucker punch in the dying minutes. Sucker punch in the dying minutes of the game. Here's my phone because something's just flashed up on the screen. There were a couple of decisions made by the referee, which angered Celtic fans, namely the elbow to the face of Rio Hatate during the first half, and then the high boot to Matt O'Reilly in the second half. He was kicked in the face, and nothing was awarded. There was no foul awarded, and there was no VAR used on both occasions. Both occasions. I thought there had been 2 or 3 which should have been fouls, admitted O'Reilly. I'm not going to say anything bad about the ref. Obviously, he's a human being, and he's doing his best. Doing his best. Yes. At the same time, my head was in a position, and I'm a pretty tall guy, so his foot had to be pretty high. Matt O'Reilly's 6'3". Matt O'Reilly is 6'3". The guy's got his fucking foot up in the air, and nothing was given. Nothing was given. Anyway, Hibas gutted with the result. Didn't deserve to lose that. No, we didn't deserve to lose it, but that's football. CV volleyed in the head. I was gutted for Palma. His goal was nice. It was a cracking goal by Palma. Last minute goal was the difference. And us raving about the team. Great performance. Sucking lemons. Now, Celtic gave it all. Baz, we need Champions League players to compete in the Champions League. Don't even get started on the board and the projects that we brought in during the summer. This is what we get, though. This is what we get. We wanted to try and look. We got beat. Officiating was hot garbage. Yep. Run, Maida, run. Yep. Run, Maida, run. He can pretty much run to Ange Postecoglou if he wants. Some of the decisions, Paul Bears even said, yeah, some of the decisions were absolutely brutal. Matt O'Reilly went on to say, it's probably the small margin, said Matt O'Reilly, at this level. I thought it was good. It's as good as we've played. Champions League-wise, we were solid defensively for most of the game. Conceded that late. It's not nice at all. I'm not really sure what happened for the goal. I heard someone mention something about offside, but I'm sure they got it right. See, even the Celtic players are saying that it was offside, but there was no VAR cam. And Matt O'Reilly then went on to say, I thought the fans were amazing as usual. They kept us going right until the end. We're really disappointed. We said before the game that these were the games that we needed to win, especially when you got 60,000 fans behind you. But what about the fans? Because I thought the fans might have been a bit more vocal tonight. What happened about the whole stadium getting up there and doing it for 90 minutes? Because let's face it, all you heard on the television was the Green Brigade. So Celtic is not this European fortress that one was. On the pitch for one, and the atmosphere that you used to have at Champions League appearances comes and goes like a fart in the wind. You know, this massive, this reputation that Celtic had for this awesome atmosphere for 90 minutes during a Champions League is gone. We've got the prawn sandwich brigade in sitting at Celtic these days. We've just got the prawn. We have a prawn sandwich at the Celtic end. It's just the prawn sandwich brigade, right all the way around until you get to 109. Anyway, let's move on. I get some of your comments. Matt says, one complaint tonight, Yang, he's garbage. Yep, I've said that right at the beginning. Nothing like a Celtic player. Let me scan back up here. Palmer is his replacement. Fact. Get him. Rodgers must have given him enough time. And the Celtic yes, Yang is not good enough. Lewis Palmer is a much better player. And Bernardo, we need to see more of Bernardo. I would absolutely kick out Rio for a couple of games. Away games are better. Yeah, Paul, away games are always better. I've said this for many a time. The atmosphere at Celtic Park these days is just rubbish. And people will sit and people will go, but the Celtic was great before the Green Brigade. I remember when I was a lad, back before the Green Brigade, the Celtic was... The Celtic fan base now does not sing for 90 minutes. They're not singing for 90 minutes. North Star were worse for a full pensioners pushing them. The board need to build up the arse. 70 odd million in the bank. And that's what we're going to say about that. When it comes to the AGM, people need to question the board, particularly, because Brendan Rodgers has agreed to has allowed these players to come in, and they're definitely not good enough for that level. Right, just been booted in the face. Great game planned for tonight. Really good. Back to middle. Final third lacking. Yep, final third we were completely lacking. Was Pedro's head no offside? I thought his whole arm was offside. The atmosphere in the North Stand is brutal. Yes, it is that. It is that. It's not. It's not what it used to be. Do you know what I mean? And it's, people pay their money; they can do what they want, right? But when people come on to here and come on to other platforms and they'll sit in their ass and sit and remain silent. Yeah, they do. I sit in 105 and I've seen supporters talking to each other instead of watching the game. Says Helen. Says Helen. Do you know what I mean? But I spent years and years and years going to the football. And I mean, they tops are this one. You can tell it's an original because it's all worn. There, that side. What is it? It's fucking there. Do you know? So working class heroes can't afford the games now. Yeah, no, they can't. The board is full of Tories. Yes, I think it is. It is full of Tories. And it's been full of Tories for years. Anyway, that's fucking a bit more physicality and quality needed for Europe, says David. The only parts of your body that you can score with can be offside. Nice collection, says Helen. Yeah, I'm going to get the rest of them out actually because there's about another 10 or 15. I'm going to get the whole collection out for the next couple of nights' videos. Your man should have been off the first half for the blatant assault on Rio. Yep. Different game after that. The referee was poor. VAR did us nothing at all. Lowell and Co. probably at the Manchester conference today. Yeah, probably. I didn't even get me started with Lowell. Right, let's get back to what Matt O'Reilly was saying. Excruciating, painful, bitter, and Celtic did play well. They did. Celtic played for it being a Champions League game. That goal was like slow motion. It was that. Jack says, really managed to get to games due to the price. When I do go, you're always sat down and it's only me around standing up and singing, says Jack. It's just, I think ever since, we used to sit, I mean, I sat in 111 for years and then I sat in 1-1. I sat in 110 and then I sat in 111. When I sat in 110, we used to talk and we used to say, oh, it's like an invisible barrier. Must be an invisible barrier going right down that bit because people just sit and don't sing. Where was the ref from? He's from Latvia. And I did say the other night in a live, Lithuanian, yes, Lithuanian. When I found out that the ref is Lithuanian, Eastern Europeans, well, they're a bit as right wing as the Italians. So just let's say, John Kev said to me today, pretty good performance, especially given our injury list and amount of new players, different style. So Kev's talking shit. Kev's talking nonsense. He wishes he had the strips I had. Stood in the old jungle with beer bottles flying past my head, etc. Yeah, they were the days. At least people sang. We played well, but one daft mistake, and we stopped the stupid mistakes. I need to learn with 3 minutes to go. You're under pressure, get rid of the ball. I used to sit in 104. Where was that? I used to sit in 104 with a few supporters' buses and about. It seems it changed days. Danny, it has changed days. And you know, I'm not going to dig anyone that goes to the football because I've always said our away fan base is so much better. And it's the away fans that pay their money each week. They go to European away games. They go to all the games away in Scotland. Right, let's get back to Matt O'Reilly. Matt O'Reilly said, I thought the fans were amazing as you have done that bit. We put ourselves in a great position to win, and I thought we could have nicked it with Lewis' goal, but it wasn't to be, says Matt O'Reilly. Where do we go for that? Perfect. Right, bugger off. The key moment. With obvious no threat. Rio Hatate was basically smacked in the face. The referee awarded a free kick. He saw the contact while Hatate received treatment, and there appeared no VAR check for the incident. And another match, it would have resulted in a red card. If that was Celtic, right, at Feyenoord, we're down to 9 men. If that's Celtic at Feyenoord, we're down to 10 men. But as this group is not, I'm a Rangers fan, but you need to grow up, Pat. Who's Pat? Pat McGuire. So the Huns watching Elman Batten. Jesus God. Show me. Remember I went against Atletico if we play like that. Not in Madrid, I don't think. Maybe in Glasgow. But we need silly things. You're not expecting Cameron Carter-Vickers to slip where he slips. You're not expecting Nat Phillips to not be man marking his man to get a free header, which the goalkeeper Joe Hart did well. But you're thinking a really good keeper, Kaiser says definitely should have had a player sent off for that elbow. It should have. It wasn't even an elbow. It was his wrist. It's his wrist. The league's probably over and we're out of Europe by October. Well, we're going to win the league and we're not out of Europe by October. It's not mathematically impossible not to get through to the third spot. So that's just crazy talk. Absolute crazy talk. If there's one manager that could probably try and turn that around, I would say it's Brendan Rodgers. Remember, the bigger the better books, the bigger the bonuses for the shareholders. Yes, exactly. And get me started with shareholders and Celtic. Let's see what else is getting said. Chris Boy and Celtic were Lazio's troll. He's quick off the mark after defeat. Chris Boyd. What's Chris Boyd trying to troll Celtic for getting beaten in the Champions League? His team are an absolute shambles. He's been on Sky with a little giggle on his face. Chris Boyd didn't take long to troll Celtic fans over the defeat to Lazio as he took to social media. Is he on social media? Is Chris Boyd actually on social media? The twat. Former Rangers striker is known for being a wind-up merchant. He shared an image of Paul Gascoigne from his Lazio days. What a knob. The only thing that Chris Boyd is good for is talking nonsense. Right, let's get rid of that. Do you know what? Some of the people that actually comment on Scottish football, they don't just make you cringe. I mean, you've got Chris Boyd commenting on Scottish football, and it's cringeworthy. Absolutely cringeworthy. Matt Riley's Oski. I fear he's too good for Celtic, says Paul J. My name's Chris Boyd. I bet you is, David. Bet it is. Pat McGuire, as long as we keep winning your domestic league, we should be happy. The Champions League is the equivalent of a holiday. The only holiday is a cruise liner. You're not Sevco's and his caravan at Millport. That's a nice one, Pat. You get the applause for that one. Boyd is obsessed with it. Jim Cunningham says, "What's the point in talking about? It's just a deflection." Same as son. Yep. Small-minded fans, Pat. Small-minded Pat. Chris Boyd. I'm not even going to repeat that one, Kaiser. Far too clever to repeat that one. Right. I just thought it was unbelievable. But you thought when Kyogo, right, Matt O'Reilly, that touch from Matt O'Reilly, to put in Kyogo was absolutely fantastic. You know, he didn't have to, he just put enough weight on it just to get Kyogo right through and score that goal. Boys best ignored. Just getting in from the game. Yang is wash, says Chill Pill. I'm not angry. I feel like on my coffee table in 2. That's about extreme. Adrian Gunn, Hatate's not fit, officials were poor. Adrian, I thought Hatate's not been fit since the start of the season, and he should be benched. Boyd lives about, what was that one? 10 minutes away from me. We're going to out the glove, go and tell him to come on. Tell him that one Celtic fans view wants to interview him, and we'll totally rip him to death live. Tarmac, no mate. It was the ref's fault. Nobody was saying it was the ref's fault. We're just saying it was really bad officiating for nothing to be, not even a foul given for a Celtic player getting hit in the face. So if you want to make fun of it being the ref's fault, it probably was the ref's fault. I mean, I don't hear people saying about complaining that it was the ref's fault when Liverpool got one ripped off by VAR at the weekend. Hearts looking no bad at shop stopping this season. Yeah, it is that. What's the next game on the cards? It's this weekend. Where's my phone? Chris Blue knows Mr. Blue Sky. Boyd is a Tajia. Is that guys? This is poor Celtic side for Europe. One of the poorest for years. Is it one of the poorest for years? Since such a young squad. You remember the average age of this squad's only 24. When you look at Brendan Rodgers' last time at Celtic, the average age of the squad was 26 or 27. When you look at Martin O'Neill's squad back in 2003, the average age of that team was 28. Was 28. So you've got to look at it in perspective. And you're always trying to look at things in perspective. And so to say that this is a really poor Celtic team, it's probably one of the youngest Celtic teams that we've had in Europe for a long, long time. Not replacing Hart has cost us. My one fear about not replacing Hart is this next summer, we're going to have to replace 2 goalkeepers. Benji Siegrist is not pulling his weight. And he's not getting anywhere near this team. And Joe Hart's going to be leaving. So we need to buy a keeper. For next season, for definite. We need at least another backup keeper after that. The safe score garbage. But Anil's team took us to the final, Baz. Yes, they did take us to the final, and they were older, right? Come back to me when Brendan Rodgers is still here and he's got the nucleus of this team, and they're 4 or 5 years older. So you can't, it's okay saying, but Anil's team took us to a final. There were the average age of the team was 28. The average age of this team is 24. That's a lot of experience in football years. So trying to compare the two, it's like trying to compare milk, 7-Up, and chocolate. Anyway, I just think about Callum McGregor's performance past 4 games. I don't think he's leading the team. He's definitely sitting a lot further back. He's sitting a lot further back in the. And I thought there was a nice change. Let me just see. What did David Baz facts? But facts are how many of the boards mainly to blame like we need quality when Jota was sold. Yep. Moy Patson and GG but GG was sold way before he was sold at Christmas. The team's been crying out for quality. Yeah, the team is crying out for quality, and we knew that. And it's funny enough that a lot of the players that were brought in didn't even make that team today. So anyway, we competed better this campaign than we have for a while. I said that to my brother actually in a text message. I thought we were performing better than we did last year. I think last year it was just we were good at going forwards, but I thought we controlled a lot of the game, especially in the first half. The intricate passing, and people are going to say, you're passing about the back of the box. That's confident players. When we're passing about like that and then we're starting to go forward, we're building from that. That's players that are really confident. There's 1 or 2 players that shouldn't have started tonight. I thought Yang was one of them. And Hatate has just been that far off the boil that O has to go. O's never a Celtic player. We needed a goal tonight. We did. We passed the ball from side to side from front of our own box, says Chilpil. And that's what I just said, though. But we didn't just pass it from side to side. If you notice that we stopped passing it from side to side when Cameron Carter-Vickers came on. When Cameron Carter-Vickers came on, he started making better passes. I thought Phillips isn't our level. He's maybe going to be a good player. He maybe would be a good player if he had plenty of game time, but Phillips hasn't played since January. So bringing a player from Liverpool, just because he's from a Liverpool player, doesn't make him a really good player. He's not had game time. So, I don't think he's going to stay with Celtic after January. Let's put it that way. Rubbish. We can't score a goal from our box. Chilpil, it's not about scoring goals for the box. If you look at the way that we pass the ball, and it gives these players confidence, and then it's bringing the team out. It's bringing Lazio towards us, and then we hit them on the break. So, yeah. But what do I know? Hoping for a Yang bang, but it's just not happening. No, it's not happening at all for Yang, I'm afraid. Phillips looks like he's never wanted the ball. Phillips is never going to be a long-term Celtic player. Never going to be a long-term Celtic player. Right, let me just see how many thumbs up there is. There's over 2 thumbs up. Over 100, there's been over 200 people watching. The comments are just flying through. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. We started 34 minutes ago. Celtic, the board to blame, the money they spent on the women's new park, 20 million. 20 million is nothing because even with that 20 million, we're still sitting with 70 million in the bank. We're sitting with 70 million in the bank. So, you know what I mean? We're now the worst record in the Champions League in over 50 games. Do we? Anyway, can't be as bad as Rangers, surely. Um, why do we think that we would be any different for Celtic in the Champions League? Same old story, but we will go again. Of course, we'll go again. It's all about winning the league in Scotland and then getting as much money as we can from the Champions League and hopefully finishing third and dropping down into the Europa. It's looking as if it might be a little bit harder to drop down into third now. I really thought that bringing in Phillips on loan, I never really thought that bringing in Phillips on loan was a good idea. Neither did Apple. I thought it was a complete strange one. I can understand why we did it. And yeah, Chilwell, Baz, I was at the game, I was watching right in front of me. No movement up front. But we've said this before, Chilwell. No movement up front for anyone to pass the ball to. We're rotten. That comes with Kyogo getting brought back, and when you see the run, on the television, Chilwell, that Kyogo did for the goal, he actually did a curved run. And you can understand why Brendan wants them to play that, but we need someone else up front. We need to play two up front. For to play the system that we have, we need to play two up front. Anyway, that is it for the night. My throat is absolutely killing me. I don't know where my floor is. I need to go and get a drink because I have been driving tonight, so I've even got a beer in the fridge. That's how bad it is. The transfer window wasn't a good idea. Paul just Celtic plugging the holes. Great result tonight, says Jim. Where's your manager, Jim? Oh, yeah, that's the manager that Ange Postecoglou was meant to be running away from. Where is he? That's right. He got sacked. 3 managers, 3 years. Brendan Rodgers has now seen off 4 Rangers managers at his time at Celtic. So on that note, Rangers died. Celtic are still champions. And we're top of the